largest alleged fraud loss in United States history, totaling over $4.5 billion. One of those involved was Andrew McCubbins, who had pled guilty to an unrelated $100 million medical fraud scheme before the indictment, and to date awaits sentencing. The walls may be closing in for Tim Ballard. And they went on to say, it makes me sick. Tom went on to say, it makes me sick that Tim Ballard and his family are taking the heat for this person's evil doings, but wanted to let you know I've been working with Tim for the last year. This person said, so I have some knowledge of this and just wanted to let you know your instincts are right. This is all very political, and the statement appears to be from church middle management. Continue supporting both Ballards. I had a lady in the comments section of the last video that I put out about Tim Ballard, and she said, can we get away from this distraction and go back to talking about Lahaina? And so I just want you guys to know out there, and I know you don't all think this way, but I understand a lot of you probably joined me because I was talking about Maui and what's going on there. And it's still a bad situation because we don't have the answers and the transparency that we deserve as Americans, right? And I'm not going to say the world. I'm saying as Americans, let's start with America first. Forget what the world wants right now. I want what America wants. And I mean that politically. As a Latter-day Saint and as a follower of Christ, I want the world to have the gospel. But as far as my constitution and my government, we deserve answers. Now, back to what she said. This is not a channel about one particular topic, okay? And to call the Tim Ballard situation a distraction is not an accurate statement, because if that's happening to people like Tim, that affects us. Because if it happens to one of us, it's happening to all of us. So you want to know about Lahaina? Let's start talking about Lahaina. Well, let's retract from Lahaina and Maui, and let's talk about what's going on with our freedoms and our quick to judge people and being censured and discriminated against because of righteousness, okay? This is totally related to Lahaina. This is totally Tim Ballard and Operation Underground Railroad. We talk about children missing in Maui. Well, who's the guy that tries to help children? And the propaganda out there, it's ridiculous. And I know you're going to get all kinds of people in the comments section, but let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. That says, I don't understand why you're so confused and attacking FAIR. I thought their write-up of the situation was fittingly fair. They just presented the facts. You got hung up on them saying that the church was responding to the accusations, saying that there were no accusations. There most definitely were. They were detailed in the Vice article that Vice presented to the church. They presented their article as a whole and asked for a comment. I'm confident that the church and Tim Ballard know much more than they're disclosing. Let's not allow the noble cause of the root of our / Tim Ballard's mission to blind our judgment. Let truth prevail. Here was the final statement from this person. Let truth prevail even if it means that a hero of ours is implicated in unsatisfactory behavior. So they are public now. Okay. Let me tell this person something. And I'm not mean-spirited. Okay. I'm not being mean-spirited. But you said it right there, my friend. You said they were detailed in the Vice article. Well, Vice is going also by charges that were dropped and dismissed, which means he's not guilty. Okay? The church distancing themselves from Tim Ballard and taking down the video and the article, I don't have a problem with that. We're not talking about that, but we're talking about the reasons why, the accusations for name dropping, and all of a sudden, well, let me tell you what I put. Here's how I responded. I said, really? Fair, Latter-day Saint, Fair compared him to John DeLynn and other enemies of the church, and you are saying their write-up was fittingly fair? We are going by Vice's claims that are not substantiated. You just told us who you are. I was waiting until the end of your paragraph, and you told us who you precisely are. Let truth prevail. This is what he said. Let truth prevail, even if it means that a hero of ours is implicated in unsatisfactory behavior. Those are his words. I said, these are your words. So for you to say that at the end sounded like mockery. Even if he is guilty, and this is what I said, even if he is guilty of something, we aren't following due process of law. We're making him guilty. And we're implicating him in charges that haven't been substantiated. The church will distance themselves for many reasons that are gray areas in between there. And that is, there's controversy right now behind him. So yes, I understand that. But that doesn't mean the church believes any of these accusations. And the church isn't siding with Vice. So these people that say this, and another reason they pull away is because he's running for the Senate. So there could be many different reasons. I said that before. But it's just funny to me that a lot of these Latter-day Saints have this loathing. It's weird. This loathing. Is it weird though? Is it weird? They have this loathing and this animosity that's built up against Tim Ballard. It's very strange. It's very strange. And it's almost this, it's got this Trump-esque, this Trump-esque feeling and smell about it, in my opinion. I will stick to what I think right now. I'm going to tell you, and I've said it once. I can't remember which video I said it in, but this is politics. No doubt about it. This is dirty politics. This is dirty politics. We know that. Another commenter said, look for a Doug Anderson / Romney tie. Per his LinkedIn, Doug Anderson's LinkedIn, if you look, worked in politics before being a news broadcaster. And I don't know if there's a tie there, but it is interesting. Okay. So if we want to throw accusations around, let's start with Doug Anderson, who gave this information to Vice. I don't know how much Doug gave to Vice, and I don't know how much how biased he sounded. So I just want to show you something slightly interesting, just slightly. As I'm trying to get an account into LinkedIn, I thought I had an account a while back, but it's not letting me in one email. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I thought I would sign up with another email. Now watch this. It could be maybe their AI is not working right now or something like that. So I go, first name cannot exceed 20 characters. All right. Agree and join. Okay, sign in. It wouldn't let me sign in. Okay, so I had to verify there. So let's try that. Let's do a quick security check, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm in, right? They recognize me. Well, all you have to do is verify. It says pick the image that is the correct way up. Isn't that interesting that it looks like a worship-worthy ox? I'm joking. It's just an ox, right? Or a bull or something. Pick the image that is the correct way up, right? So I was trying to look up Doug Anderson. Every time I pick the correct, you would pick that one, right, folks? Pick that one. Guess what happens? It keeps doing this to me. Your CAPTCHA user response code is missing or invalid. Verify. Please solve the puzzle again. The correct way up. Right there. It's your no CAPTCHA. Is it CAPTCHA? Is user response code is missing or invalid. Let's do a quick security. And I keep trying this. It's not letting me sign up or get into LinkedIn. Now, is that conspiracy theory stuff? Maybe. But as for me and my house, we can't link up. I can't link up. What is LinkedIn anyway? To become a cloak and dagger? So I do commentary, folks, and I'm going to talk about these things. So if people are saying, well, let's stop talking about this, or this is a distraction from other things that I want to hear about, or we need to just stop, Troy, you need to just stop talking about this, and we need to just pray about it. This isn't what the Lord wants us to do. This is a show, brothers and sisters. I'm going to talk about these things. All right. That's what I do. And the algorithm isn't good. Not with the Russell Brand story. If you haven't watched the video, go watch the Russell Brand thing. By the way, I have Venmo. If anybody wants to donate, that would be great. That really helps us. Anytime you want to drop a couple bucks, $5, $10, $20, whatever. It doesn't matter. All right. I'm not, and I keep all of it private. I think I did because I think I set it to private. Also, we've got memberships. We've got Venmo memberships. I've got merch that I need to update. I'm going to be changing the merch, making it better with my new logos and stuff. Venmo merch, memberships, and I'm looking into private memberships too. And super chats and super stickers and stuff like that. When I do premiere videos, but I have some other stuff I want to share with you, that I got some emails. I've got some exclusive information from emails. I definitely keep these people's names anonymous if they ask me to, and they definitely will not be exposed. So don't worry about that. One person sent me an email, and I don't know how legit some of these are, okay? But I want to share them with you anyway. Someone said, I grew up with the whole extended family of Tim. I know the generation before Tim very well. I know his parents and all his aunts and uncles and his grandparents. His aunt is my closest friend. There is no way Tim has gone to the dark side. If you have heard his talks, you know. It was a hit piece on both Tim and the church and President Ballard, whom one of my family members knows very, very well. These are both exemplary men. I feel concern for all parties involved. President Ballard is getting heat too. It's not right, but it is the last days. This is expected. Just wanted to share anonymous insight, and you will stay anonymous. This person definitely wants to stay anonymous, but they had a business affiliate. I'll just say I'll name them Tom. All right. Tom had a business, a close relationship with Tim Ballard. Tom and Tim, let's just say. And this is what they said. Andrew McCubbins, who was listed as an executive director in The Sound of Freedom, donated a significant amount of money to fund the movie, after which he was convicted of government fraud in his business dealings to the tune of $80 million. This caused Operation Underground Railroad to come under investigation. I'm not sure what the outcome of the movie rights were, but it came under investigation as a substitute assets forfeiture claim. And they went on to say, it makes me sick. Tom went on to say, it makes me sick that Tim Ballard and his family are taking the heat for this person's evil doings. That's Andrew McCubbins. Andrew should be in jail, but for some unknown reason, dealings with a devil maybe, he is still living free in his large Draper home with all his fraudulent funded boats, cars, and toys. And then they sent me a link. American Crime Journal. Operation Underground Railroad operative and donor awaits sentencing for $100 million Medicare fraud. Now, I heard something else from someone else that sent me an email 2 weeks ago, but I deleted it. And it was related to this. A lot of what Vice isn't telling you is that this was because of this guy, and Tim basically took the fall for this guy. Okay, so Andrew McCubbins, it says derailed Operation Underground Railroad. Andrew McCubbins was a self-proclaimed billionaire and rising star in OUR. McCubbins also was the lead investor for Sound of Freedom, the unreleased biopic about Tim Ballard. Just weeks after Lynn Packer announced the Davis County District Attorney's criminal investigation into Tim Ballard and Operation Underground Railroad back in August 2020, the District of New Jersey, United States Attorney's Office announced the indictment of 6 people in the largest alleged fraud loss in United States history, totaling over $4.5 billion. One of those involved was Andrew McCubbins, who had pled guilty to an unrelated $100 million medical fraud scheme before the indictment, and to date awaits sentencing. The walls may be closing in for Tim Ballard. What's this right here? And then we see right here, derailed Operation Underground Railroad, American Tim Ballard under attack for SA misconduct allegations. This was September 2020. Oh, wait, it's not even. This was the 17th. This came out by Lynn Packer. For additional articles covering Operation Underground Railroad, please go to ACG Investigate. See what's going on, you guys? Operation Underground Railroad, when Tim Ballard was forced out as president and CEO of OUR, there was no announcement. His ouster was not made public until Vice News broke the story months after Ballard left OUR. But you know what? He's still doing, I've seen him recently do a podcast on OUR. Do these people look like they're Lynn Packer? Oh, so she's not biased, is she? Nah. Because look at the next thing. Look at her next article. Exposing the Sound of Freedom hoax. You see what I'm saying, folks? You see what I'm saying? So this person that sent me the email knows them very well, and I believe them. There's many other reasons why I believe that email, and I'm not going to tell you because I promised I wouldn't. But trust me, they know that I'm doing this. But they asked me to keep a few things anonymous. Said to keep their name anonymous, even though they said not that I didn't have to either way. I'm going to keep them anonymous. They are very close. They do very close business. They are very close business associates with Tim at this time. And she said, "Hi, Troy. Love your channel. Saw your video about Tim Ballard. I trust you'll keep my name anonymous, but wanted to let you know I've been working with Tim for the last year, and I'm not going to say what they've been working on together, but they've been working on a project together, and it's an upcoming event and project. This person said, so I have some knowledge of this and just wanted to let you know your instincts are right. This is all very political, and the statement, the church spokesperson, I forgot their name already, it slipped my mind, appears to be from church middle management, continue supporting both Ballards. And they said, I in no way speak for Tim, I only speak for myself. I'm sorry, it was Doug Anderson, right? Doug Anderson. That's right. Is the church Doug Anderson is the church spokesperson. So yeah, I've got those. And the thing about the Andrew McCubbins deal is you're not going to see that with Vice News. They didn't mention it at all. Not one iota. Okay. Also, I mentioned this before. It's like Trump, right? Tim Ballard. What does Joseph Smith, Tim Ballard, and Trump have in common? I'm not saying that they were just as pious or religious or righteous. I'm making a point. Let's use our brains. Be smart. Be mature. Okay. How can you compare these two to Joseph? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying specifically with a very honed in category. What do they all three have in common? Well, for one thing, nobody had a problem with them until they became outspoken. Trump, Hollywood loved him until he said, I'm taking out the swamp. Tim Ballard, 5 years ago, he's on all the networks. They're praising him. Way to go. Get our quota. Get those children, keep it to a certain minimum, but it's good. All right. You're making us look good because we're showing the world that we like you. When he comes out with a movie like Operation Underground Railroad and others, and he becomes outspoken, and then he's running for the Senate, then he is persecuted. Then they hate him, right? Also, the conjecture, the allegations, the unsubstantiated allegations. What do they have in common with Joseph Smith? Same thing. Hurlbut, all the writers, the scholars at Fair Latter-day Saint. It's weird, isn't it? Why do they hate him? They hate him as much as they hate the prophet Joseph Smith. I'm going to tell it like it is. It's that same thing. Why do these people use second or third hand sources that vow to wash their hands in the blood of a prophet to show that he did these things, right? The same with Tim. You're not going to hear about McCubbins. Somebody asked me to talk about the essay misconduct. Let me just say this. We know that the phrase S harassment, right? That has 1,000 different meanings, right? Why aren't you going to talk about that? Because I already know he talked about it. He answered it. He said that he would play, there was a husband and wife thing. They would play roles. They did a lot of where they kind of had to stoop a little low sometimes to play a part, pouring alcohol over themselves. They were playing lowlives a lot to fool other lowlives. I don't know anything about the women that came out against him, but that's irrelevant right now. We'll see where it goes. Like I said, I'm not saying that he's not guilty of anything, but he's not on trial yet. I'm not saying that Russell Brand even, but isn't it funny how they always get these accusers in fours? They always come in fours, right? Are they being paid off? But when that time comes, you don't have to say, see, I told you so. What we're saying is follow due process. And we like the guy. I'm sorry, but do you have friends that you just trust? And, you kind of know deep down. There's people that can fool us and pull the wool over our eyes, right? But then there's those people that we just know. Until you give us proof, we're not going to believe it. So my problem is, why do you have a group of these simps or weird, I don't know, some of these people that want to get rid of Tim Ballard, and some of them over at Fair. I also wanted to show you this. You see this? This is the YouTube channel Operation Underground Railroad. Now, according to some journalists, according to Vice and other journalists, they ousted him, got rid of him. Tim Ballard's exit from Operation, this is Vice, Operation Underground Railroad earlier this year followed an investigation into claims of sexual misconduct involving 7 women, according to sources with direct knowledge of the organization. Well, if he is that, so he resigned from in June of this year. He has permanently separated from permanently separated. You see that? See the language that they use, right? Well, if you go to the YouTube channel, they haven't taken down any of his podcasts. As a matter of fact, he's done some recent podcasting there. It looks like he's still doing stuff. Let me see videos. This was 3 months ago. Let me see. This is 3 months ago. So here's my point. I don't know when it was filmed. I think it was filmed 3 months ago, though. But my point is that it looks like Operation Underground Railroad hasn't completely wanted to detach from Tim Ballard. You got that, guys? Does that make sense? And you will never see this guy or hear his name mentioned. And I'll leave the link to that. But look at the articles by Lynn Packer. Let's go to Lynn Packer. Wow, this person hates and the LDS Church's promotional movies. Yeah, see, this is what we're up against. And you have sympathizers from Fair Latter-day Saints for some of these folks. The wheat and the tares, folks. The wheat and the tares. So I think that's probably it.